everyone, it's Justice, and I'm going to go in my setup and my lineup, essentially, for my 2018 planners. Let's go. I've never used a ring-bound planner before, so this is going to be a fun new experiment for 2018. Going on to the inside, I have not personalized it much at all. Since this is my first time using a ring-bound planner, I don't really intend to make a huge investment before I even know if it works or not. This little notepad came with the planner, and I'm just using it as a grocery list. Going into the first little section, it is a calendar, and they're undated, so I went ahead and did everything for the next year. The next tab is meetings. I don't have any meetings yet because the year hasn't started, but I do intend to use this exactly for what it was for. On to do, it's a very generic to-do list. The dinner area, expenses, addresses, because I like to send letters, and on the very back is inspiration. If you're like me, I like to use fountain pens, and something that is always a concern to me is paper quality. And going into it, sorry if you heard that, that was my little cat at the door. I was very afraid that the paper wouldn't be sturdy enough to actually uphold the fountain pen ink, because if you've never written with them before, they write quite wet. But the kikki paper is surprisingly good. The little notepad is cheaper than the actual pages, so it does bleed through. However, going on to the actual pages, there is a bit of ghosting, but absolutely no bleed through. And because I was afraid of that, I didn't use any of my medium or broad nib pens. I went ahead and used an extra fine. This is a Pilot Decimo, like Vanishing Point Decimo, and it is the thinnest fountain pen that I have, because I was very afraid that it was going to bleed through and I was going to ruin all of these sheets. But if you're using an extra fine, the paper is going to be just fine. Huh, get it? Anyways, with this little notepad, it is a little bit more coarse and less smooth than the actual calendar paper, so that's something to keep in mind. I also used a different thickness. This is just one more thick of a nib, so it is a fine. It's my Pilot Metropolitan. Something that can also be affected is the type of ink that you use. This is Noodler's Georgia Peach, and I find that this ink specifically, it does bleed through a lot more on my papers than some of my other inks, like my Iroshizuku brands. So that is also something to note. But this is going to be my personal planner. I don't really have that much going on in my personal life, so having a month at a glance is going to be just fine for me. As well as that, I do like to keep just a regular to-do list, meeting notes, writing down exactly what I eat in the day and exactly what I spend things on. So I feel like this and the amount of paper that comes in it is going to be ample for what I do this year personally. And in the very back of the planner is another notepad. By the way, these are adorable. They're some of my favorite colors, red and pink. Like, you cannot go wrong. But that is the kikki personal planner. This is a 2018 weekly planner, and I'm using it for my academic planner. This was a gift, and it was a very well-received gift. Going into it, the very first page has little bees on it, and I'm just going to flip ahead, and it has a month at a glance, some notes, and then it goes into the weekly spreads. I am going to use this to jot down all of the details of my academic assignments. I am not someone that easily remembers all of the details of things. I need it written down, otherwise I will forget. So this is going to be strictly academic so that I don't miss any deadlines, because that's an issue for me. But very straightforward. There's not very much detail. I do have birthdays just because this planner was larger than my personal planner and could accommodate the stickers that I bought. So I have those in there as well. But yeah, that's kind of it. At the very back of the planner, there is a ton of note pages. So I plan to use this for detailing projects or group projects that I have due. That way, they're all in here. Relating to my academic planner, this is my school notebook. It is a Leuchtturm 1917, and I believe this is a Happy Planner sticker? I'm not positive, but it's pink. And actually going into it, this is just my school notes. I am a Chinese language major, and so I just need some place to keep all of my notes and homework put together. This isn't very fun. There's not much really happening in here, but I find that whenever I have a nice cute notebook that I love to write in, then it works well and I actually use it. The Leuchtturm paper works really well with my fountain pens, and because I love writing with my fountain pens, it makes me want to study more. And that's my excuse for it, honestly. But I do find that it is very helpful. The next thing that we have is my bullet journal. This is just an A5 cover that I found off of Amazon, but the notebook itself is a Nanami paper Crossfield. The paper is Tomoe River paper, which is the thinnest, most supple paper in the world. And before I got my kikki planner, I was using this little dashboard to hold my grocery lists. So it would look something kind of like this, and then I would just take my little sticky note away. But now it doesn't really have a use, so we'll see. If you see to the sides, I have a little system where I color code the months. These blue ones on the side are for future planning, whereas the purple on the top signify once I actually go into that month. For my future planning, I just do a basic grid style monthly calendar. There's not very much fun there. I do use it as a bit of a diary. And like I said, it's just a bullet journal. I kind of go into what I do in a day, keep little scrapbooky things that make me happy, and go about everything. That's pretty much it. With the incorporation of my personal planner, I'm not quite sure that this will gain much use other than like project planning, but I do still intend to use this as an actual diary. This one's a bit silly. I went to Barnes & Noble and I was looking for a 5-year journal, and they had two. There was the Mom's 1 line a day, and there was just a regular 5-year notebook, but it was like this one from the same brand except blue and yellow. And if you couldn't tell from my current lineup, I really am a pink person. So I figured the Mom's 1 line a day would work well enough for me since I am a cat mom. And the way that this is set up, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just write in the last 2 numbers to figure out the year, and each day has its own page. So once you write something down, you can just flip through and go again. So I'm filling it up pretty well. I have been using this for about half of 2017. I got it towards the start of the fall semester, but I do intend to carry it through with 2018 and the other years. This one's a little bit silly. It is my travel journal. This is a moleskin. It's for their travel specific line. I got this little Marie sticker from the Target dollar spot, and I essentially just use this to plan my travels and memory keep. So some of what I did in the back is I tested all of my pens, saw what worked and what didn't, and the moleskin paper is very disappointing. Unless you're using just a regular ballpoint pen, pretty much everything will bleed through. It's very disappointing. And it comes with like sketch pages, a dot grid, as well as just regular lined pages. And through this, I kind of memory kept and did all this dumb stuff. This is from my Sprocket pocket printer, and these little guys I got from Disney during our vacation. I'm not going to go through too much just because I don't intend to share ample amounts of personal information. But something I did do is I cut and pasted the maps for the resorts. That way I didn't have to just carry around an ugly brochure to figure out where we were going. I could just open up my book that I already have on me and go. And let me see if I can go through the actual bullet journal portion. So like this, I tracked all of the calories that I ate and my net calories throughout the vacation. The money that I spent. A little like weekly planner page for while we were gone. And I really just use this as an excuse to use all of my creative things that otherwise would not have a home. So tons of stickers, and tons of stickers. It makes me happy. And the last thing I have to share isn't a planner at all, but it is in this book shape, so I count it. This is my leather pen case. It is from Aston Leathers, and I bought it from the Goulet Pen Company, and it holds 10 pens. I don't really have that large of a collection because I'm working on stationery minimalism, but it does keep my pens nice and safe. My Lamy All-Star has gotten quite a few dents over the years because I only recently got this case, and so seeing that, I didn't want any of my more expensive pens to suffer the same fate because they are a pretty decent bit of money. And so I figured I would invest in this case to make sure that they remain safe. Not very much to it, but if you want to know the pens that I have, this is a Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo in the color Champagne. This is a TWSBI VAC 700R, Conklin Duragraph in Cracked Ice, TWSBI Diamond 580, TWSBI Eco, Lamy All-Star, Pilot Metropolitan. My other Pilot Metropolitan is in the Kikki K planner, and this is a little Tombow twin tone that I got from the Boho Berry subscription box. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I would be more than happy to answer them. I hope you have... Sorry, my cat was meowing at the door. I hope that you have had an amazing holiday season and good luck for 2018. Bye-bye.